Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh man! Holy shit! No, that's good! Everybody keep going!
It was a resignation of, okay, I can't believe this is how I'm going to die.
At about 8:46, 8:47, the lights in that room flickered. We couldn't see anything. We didn't hear anything. We didn't feel anything. It was just this flicker of lights. Almost immediately, a gentleman from Aon Corporation kind of came into the room and he said, "Hey, there's been an explosion in the North Tower and we got to evacuate." To see these huge black holes through the sides of the building in the North Tower, flames redder than any red I'd ever seen before in my life, looking up the side of the building, gray and black billows of smoke just pouring out of those big holes. And my first thought, immediate thought was, my God, how did that pilot not see the building? How did he miss? He didn't miss.
And I walked to the intersection of two streets, Chamber Street and Church Street, which is north of the World Trade Center. From there, I could see the damage that had been done to the Tower number 1. From there, I could see what was happening from the street. I could see people waving tablecloths from my windows, from the windows of our restaurant, Windows on the World. I could see tablecloths and napkins, and it was horrible. It was terrible.
I was somewhere between 74 and 72 in that stairwell when the second plane went through our building. And it went through our building between floors 77 and 82. So we were just a few floors below the strike zone. Never felt anything like that in my life. That building, that fire stairwell that we're inside, this concrete bunker starts to shake so violently back and forth. The handrails breaking away from the walls. And that's the chance we had for the first time to encounter the police and the firefighters and the paramedics from New York City and the Port Authority. Just the looks in their eyes. No words, just the looks in their eyes. Oh, the whole. They knew that they were going up those steps to try to fight a fire that they couldn't keep. They knew that they were going up those steps to try to save lives that they probably couldn't save. And they knew that they were going up, and they knew that they were never coming back. Could you be that brave? Could you be that strong? I mean,
we'd already seen what had happened to the Twin Towers, and figured it was going to be a pretty busy day.
We're like, this is the safest place to be in the world right now. Why not be in the Pentagon? Nothing's going to happen to us here.
So that dot there is where I was right here.
It was a loud boom, and then you felt a shaking. And I did not really process it at that time. I think that we've been told that there was possibly no feeling even the wing of the plane as it was moving through. However, for me, it was enough to know you knew something was wrong. And as everybody started to move out, it was like, okay, this is a dangerous situation. I was still thinking at that time that it had been a bomb that had been let off somewhere in the building. I knew it was terrorists. I mean, that was not hard to think about. But the idea of a plane being used as a weapon, and how that would happen, and how that could happen in this area, that just was a little bit hard to fathom.
From that point, I was just frozen in time until there was the beginning of the collapse of the first building, the second tower, tower number 2, I should say. from where I was in the street, I could see the tower being just enveloped in a cloud of smoke. It was as though it was a magic act, how it was just the building disappeared in a cloud of smoke. It was just gone. It collapsed so fast. And with that, people were running north. The streets were full of people running north on Church Street to escape the cloud, the dust, the debris.
And then it was pitch black. That's probably the first time in my life I had it wasn't fear, it was a resignation. That's what it was, a resignation of, okay, I can't believe this is how I'm going to die. I couldn't breathe. The air was so acrid. I mean, it was hard to take a breath. I remember using my shirt to cover my mouth, but I was underneath a car, and then the car was parked underneath the footbridge.
I was making a mental list of all of the people who could have been there that morning, and it was just crushing me, just to think of who's there, who's not there. Our colleagues who were trapped on the 106th and 107th floor were calling 911. They were calling the emergency number furiously. Many phone calls to the police and the fire department, to the emergency line, to 911 from windows on the world.
The plane that morning was coming overhead, straight down the flight path. At this point, it was inverted, traveling just under 600 miles an hour. Just before the plane came down, Ed made a phone call to the 911 emergency services. They're not quite sure what the intent was, other than they suspect to help emergency services understand where the plane was. Obviously, the hijacking was well underway. The battle either was about to start or had already started. The passengers and crew members certainly knew what was going on the ground in New York and in Washington, just from conversations that other passengers had had with loved ones and the United Service Center when it crashed into the ground down there. They were sending rescue crews in case there were any survivors, but there really wasn't anything left. It basically disintegrated upon impact and threw the debris over about a 50 to 60 acre, what we call the debris field, which is now called the sacred ground.
West Street, walking north, not thinking that the North Tower is going to fall. I don't know why that didn't dawn on all of us, that the South Tower just fell and the next one is I don't know. The scale to us was this, and I believe it's your eyes. What you see is reality. And far as I could see was nothing but a debris field. So it was, to me, the whole city was like this, and maybe even beyond. I went into reactive mode, I'll be honest. I was, we had a lot to do, there was no moment to reflect, and there really was no moment to take stock